This is Final Fantasy. This is Claude. You might have heard of vibe coding, using LLMs to create websites, software, and games. Can I use Claude to remake Final Fantasy IV's combat? Final Fantasy is known for magic and summons, class customization, every game having a job system, most importantly, the active time battle system. Claude can't make save systems, adjust damage without rebuilding, no complex animations, attacks, particle effects, so on. This is the first version. I know it looks bad, kinda boring, right? Thank you, it's supposed to. Over-designing means I did it wrong. It's called programmer art. It's temporary, usually low-quality visual assets, graphics, models, UI created by a programmer to visualize game functionality. To get started, we need some classes. Vanguard is my version of Final Fantasy's Dragoon. Henshin replaces the summoner. Instead of a monster appearing, the player transforms. Two quick and dirty examples. They work, but didn't feel like classes yet. The bigger issue, run out of MP, there's no reset button even after dying. Can't reset the game unless you close it. Some systems are so obvious, we don't think about them. Yet, without them, games become unplayable. I'm trying to answer 5 questions. What choices are players making every 3 to 5 seconds? What cost are you paying for those actions? What does playing well look like? What does playing wrong cost? How do classes benefit players? Here's a real-world example. Hearthstone is a collectible card game made by Blizzard Entertainment.
And in this pure design time, since of course we had a couple of designers and we had our lead artist as well, but no engineers, we spent a lot of that time doing paper design, and it works of course very well for our game because our game is based and comes from, you know, the physical collectible card game genre. That's its basis, but I actually think that there's a lot of games that could end up doing more paper design time than they otherwise do.
They made physical cards to test a video game. Paper design is used to figure out fundamental details, often using index cards to mimic gameplay systems with dice to simulate chance. Blizzard's developers used what they learned to make a Flash version.
What worked out well for this is that we got to try a whole bunch of the ideas in the Flash prototype, and our final Flash prototype mechanically actually looks almost identical to how the game looks today as far as mechanics.
And this is the finished multi-million-dollar hit that is Hearthstone. It started with paper. In my case, I'm working on a third-person stylish action card game taking inspiration from Magic the Gathering's Color Pie and Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes. Yes, that was a mouthful. If you have no idea what I said, no worries. The Color Pie comes from Magic the Gathering. It's what they base deck ideas around. In Yu-Gi-Oh, archetypes are groups of monsters built around different playstyles. Before I spend months building systems like those, I'm testing magic and items in isolation. But can't make a system without knowing the basics, won't know the basics without the system. If paper can't tell me, a game engine won't either. So is vibe coding an alternative to paper design? I had quite a few reasons to rebuild. Here's version 2. This time I made spells selectable and gave each class unique skills and passives. To keep it simple, I asked Claude to create a cliché fantasy magic system set in a generic near-future science fantasy world leaning into machines more than the medieval. This is the deck builder. It's straightforward. Pick 3 attack cards, then pick either Cure or Regen to restore HP, Refresh or Ether to restore MP, and 1 passive card. I've got to mash spells to use them. See the flashing when I hover over one. Call me crazy, pretty sure that's the problem. Normally, I'd fix the bug, it's not the only issue. Final Fantasy uses active time battles. Enemies don't wait for you to move, they attack on their turn. People react slower than machines. At speed, it's easy to kill the player. I reduced the ATB charge speed. The rebuild, as you can see, broke the ATB system. It now takes ages to charge. Here's how ATB works in Final Fantasy IV. The game doesn't let fast enemies run wild, it calculates relative agility based on your lead character, meaning the game scales enemy speed to ensure battle keeps a consistent flow, preventing enemies from stomping the player. And this is the current version. Honestly,
all of this just works.
A lot of RPGs have a Coliseum questline. I always like that part. So, Elemental Fantasy is an arena fighter. It was also easier to build this way. This version uses a baton system. The player and NPC pass a token, the baton, back and forth. It's a little buggy though. Each side is supposed to have 8 seconds, take longer than 8 seconds, and the other side can attack freely. What actually happens is it skips the player's turn. The results screen pops up win or lose at the end of each fight. As is, this is technically a game. I like it, I want to build it out, add 2 more classes and a 5th fight type. About that armor system. The plan is to rework spells, adding stats like HP, MP, attack, defense to them. But
it's a trap!
It's real easy to get lost building the test instead of my game. But
I'm stupid!
I did it anyway. Mainly because I found the bug at the last minute. When I updated the deck builder, the system added elemental status effects, burn, stun, you know. If you got unlucky, all you could do was lose. That's fixed now. Enjoy the armor. Besides, I know elemental magic isn't gonna work. You're gonna aim for the elemental weakness. If you don't, you're gonna take more damage. It makes sense. It also reduces combat to 1 spell. Secondary effects help. I'd rather base the system around something else. Around what? I have no idea. I'll keep experimenting. If you've got any ideas, tell me in the comments. Now, we could go over what I learned. Do you really want me to read that? And now for the elephant. The information on Final Fantasy IV's ATB system was public long before LLMs. I get the AI concerns. I'm not the best artist, but when the time comes, I look forward to designing and 3D modeling suits, weapons, and animation. Gen AI has its issues. The technology and the people behind it need to be regulated. Training data needs proper accreditation. Data, writing, music, artwork deserves fair compensation. None of the code touched the live game. That's as ethical as it gets. Gen AI has problems. It also has its uses. But honestly, just make your game. Even in AAA, every game doesn't do this. But there's a method in my madness. We say we want better games without giving people the tools or info to make it happen. So first I made this work reel to pitch my game. Chain your attacks and abilities across your loadout. Pick a fight with area of effect attacks. Swap to heavy gear to control your targets. Finish them off with high damage spells by shifting to mage. Your strategy is your combined loadout. You'll find a link to Elemental Fantasy on itch.io. The instructions are downstairs. Play a few hands, ask yourself how you'd fix the ATB. What magic system would you make? What stats would you add spells to? Pop your changes into Claude, it'll make you a custom version of Playtesting. I've never seen a pitch video, never played an early prototype, so I made some. Yes, some of my videos debunk GameTubers because no one talks about them. I'm using Project Mythos to answer what I can because we don't see this stuff, so we don't talk about it either. Like, did I pitch the game wrong? Did I test it right? Is there a right way? Did I make mistakes? I'm sure I did, but I don't know because there aren't examples for me to learn from. If there were dozens of videos on these topics, I'd make different content, but there aren't, so here we are. To studios, publishers, GameTubers, journalists, can we try something different? What if we put drama and news cycles aside? Here are 2 comment blocks, both asking for more or thankful for behind-the-scenes content. One is from 2022, the other is from last week. You might think, hey, you used those last video.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I see comments like those all the time because there's a large group of people being ignored. Yes, people like validation. Yeah, people can ask questions in bad faith. Both of those things are true. Over a decade of speculation and unanswered questions, what about the people earnestly asking for information? People trying to start conversations. Of course they're pissed off. And of course they care. Otherwise they wouldn't keep asking. Seems pretty clear what they want. That's it. No ulterior motives. So who's answering their questions? Take care and have a good one.